Is your hook size important when you're worm fishing as far as missing fish? Good morning, guys and girls. The hot summertime is upon us. July 5. I bet some of you are nursing a sunburn from yesterday. I don't know, but July 4th is one of those weekends where if you haven't got your tan working on yet, you get out there July 4th and you just get a burn. That's just all there is to it. And I bet you some of you are sore right now. Our scripture today on July 5 is going to be from 2 Peter 2:9. 2 Peter 2:9. The Lord knows how to save those who serve him when trouble comes. So all that's doing is just telling us that we serve the Lord. When we have trouble, he's going to know how to save us. He's going to know how to get us out of that trouble. Here's what I wrote about that. Heavy rains during the summer are rare, but when they do happen, they completely change how we go about catching bass. Most summertime bass spend the daylight hours down in the deeper water. Heavy rains and rising water will drive those fish to the bank. This is particularly true up in the river areas of a lake. These fish don't have too far to go, and they can get there really, really quickly when the new water starts pouring in. So this time of the year, you get one of those big thunderstorms, you get a downburst, just a frog strangler, and you get a couple inches of rain real quick. You want to go to the bank. You want to go to areas where there's runoffs, water coming in. That's where you're going to be able to catch the fish. Unlike the heavy summer rains, which are very rare, troubles will come even to those who serve God. You hear that? Troubles will come even to those who serve God. At times, it just seems unfair to do God's work and still have problems, but we do. We hear people all along, I just don't know. I haven't missed a day of church in years. I've taught a Sunday school class and I've been faithful. I sing in the choir. I spend hours getting ready to be in the praise band. I teach, I teach the youth group. I do. And yet I still have these major problems. So even if you serve God, we're going to have problems. We got to remember, though, that we have a God who has the power to rescue us from whatever trouble we encounter or get ourselves into. A lot of the problems, a lot of the trouble they have are our own dang fault. That's just all there is to it. They are our own fault. So, but we serve a God that's got the power to rescue us from whatever trouble we encounter or get ourselves into. For me, I certainly do need lots of God's help. That is really a great scripture right there. The Lord knows how to save those who serve him when trouble comes. So, I've mentioned this before. My preacher buddy, Andy Bowman, my little buddy, says only in three categories. You've either gone through a big problem, you're either right in the middle of a big problem, or you're fixing to have one. So that's why we serve a God that has the power to help us through those problems. Here's our tip for the day, and it's a good one. An undersized worm hook, a worm hook that is too small, will cost you missed strikes and lost bass. So if you're using a worm hook that's too small, not only are you going to miss some strikes, you're going to get some bites, you're going to set the hook, and you're not going to catch the fish, not even going to hook him. And some that are hooked, you're going to lose more of them. So you need to use a hook large enough. Now, you can't use too large a hook or it'll overpower your worm. And remember, the size of the worm hook is determined by the diameter of a worm. How big around the worm is, not how long it is. Doesn't matter if the worm's this long or this long. It's how big around it is, the diameter of a worm. So that's the deal right there. So the bigger the worms, the bigger the worm hooks. But you got to sort of hit that happy medium. I use mostly 3 and 4/0 and 5/0. Probably use a 4/0 worm hook more than any other. But I also use 1s and 2s, 6s and 7s and 8s and 9, depending on what I'm fishing with. And I even go down to numbers that are below the odds, that are just numbers of worm hooks. So sometimes little tiny worm hooks work really well. Take something like a Ned rig or those little deals like that, a wacky worm rig. with a ring on it, little bitty tiny hooks. Hook size, very important. But if it's undersized, it's going to cause you some problems. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. Doctor that sunburn. Get back out there that sun tomorrow. I love you.